Good Thursday morning, everybody. This is Pastor Dean with Bascom Community Church. Thank you for joining me this morning as we continue our series of devotions, The Lies We Believe, Beyond Quick Fixes to Real Freedom by Scott Savage. As you can tell, we're doing today's devotion from the parsonage. Unfortunately, Monday evening on the way coming back over to the parsonage from the church, an experience happened that we'll be sharing about in our Sunday message. So that's my crossover event. So you can listen to that Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning. Anyway, I ended up doing some damage to my hamstring. I don't know exactly what. But I have not been able to leave the house for the last couple of days because I really, yesterday could barely walk, and today's much better, but it's not good enough where I was able to leave the house. So we're doing it from here. So I apologize that the quality of the picture and everything is not as good as it normally is, but I know you'll be forgiving, and we'll be glad we had this time together. We have two scripture readings for today. The first of these scriptures are from Psalm 139, verses 23 and 24. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me into the way everlasting. And our second devotion comes from James chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all, without finding fault, and it will be given to you. These are the words of God for the children of God. Our devotion today is titled, Allowing God's Gift to Become a Bondage. So we're going to share some of the most common lies people will discover when they start digging into their spiders. And again, to give you, if you have not been with us, a spider or an agreement that we make with lies that then control how we live because we believe or we act like we believe those lies. So these are our spiders. And one of these may resonate with your own experience. Common lies about God. Number one, God has abandoned me. Number two, God doesn't hear my prayers. Three, God is punishing me for something that I did. I still remember this, and really hits me when my Aunt Diane was very sick. That's what she thought that it was all about. Was God punishing her for the sins that she'd done, and I just could not get her. She's from a different theologically background or faith background. She's a Christian, but she wasn't Wesleyan in tradition, and she didn't have the same concept of grace and mercy that we did. And she thought this was, God getting back at her. And I really could not get her to understand that God was not doing the things to her health to hurt her. But that's another story for another day. So we have these common lies that we can have about ourselves. Again, those are lies about God. God has abandoned me. God doesn't hear my prayers. God has punished me for something I did. And here's the lies about ourselves. And again, these will be posted on our Facebook and our YouTube platforms. I'm not worthy of real love. I'm only as good as my last success. I have to control everything to be safe. And I must admit that growing up with my background as I did, I'm way too much of a control freak. I've gotten a whole lot better, but I'm sure it's not where I need to be yet. So I can understand that one. So we're going to provide a real world example. Again, this is the author talking about, which when we talk a sermon series inspired by Carlos Whitaker's book, Kill the Spider. And just for the record, I've never heard of this book before this devotion. I really like this devotion series. I think there's a lot of power there. So I actually just ordered one about 2 minutes ago. So I should be getting that. And I'm going to be, that's number 3 on my to read list that I have going right now. But I look forward to this because this has really been some good things. And I'll let you know about this Kill the Spider book. But it looks really interesting. Anyway, someone sent the pastor here again a shocking message. I started praying about what my spider was, and I found it. It's prayer. And I was confused because this person is one of the most prayer-focused people I know. In other words, this person was a real prayer warrior. Again, this quote's again from the person writing the letter. As you know, I have no problem praying for other people. I have a problem praying for myself because my spider, and again, my spider is the lie that I've told myself and I believe in, and now I let it affect the way I live. My spider is that I believe God doesn't answer my prayers because he doesn't care for me like he cares for others. And then the message continued. I kept trying to find new ways to pray for myself until I realized that it went a little deeper here, that my spider is the belief that God doesn't answer my prayers because he doesn't care about me. And that's an incredible breakthrough. That kind of clarity is possible for you when you pray David's dangerous prayer from Psalm 139, 23, 24 we did earlier. Just think about this. If you can pause this for a minute, just think about it. Search me, God. Do we really want to be searched when you get right down to it? Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. In other words, you're asking God to really come in, do an inventory of what's going on there, know what's going on between those ears, which sometimes isn't too pretty, and then find out what ways are we not living into our faith in God. How are we not trusting God? How are we not being obedient to God? Whatever our things are going on, then line up our little problems we got in our relationship with God, and then we're asking Him through His Holy Spirit now, not with David, but we would be now, to lead us in the way everlasting, which means to change and transform us. So that's a very powerful and a challenging and a little scary prayer unless you really are committed. So when that church attendee explored why praying for self was hard, they discovered a lie. Again, God doesn't answer my prayers because he doesn't care about me. So remember, your cobwebs, that is the surface behaviors you struggle with, often point you towards your spiders, which are the lies you believe. It's going below the surface. It's not looking at the symptoms, it's looking at the cause. Again, our symptoms are, again, what they call the cobwebs, the surface behaviors you struggle with, and then that points us toward our spiders, which is our cause, which are the lies you believe. And then again, we're going to show us how this kind of works. These are just 3 samples, and it could be hundreds of them. If you struggle with pornography, the spider might be, I'm not worthy of real love, so I have to settle for artificial intimacy. If you struggle with workaholism or control, and I really did have that issue, the spider might be, I can't trust God to take care of things, so I have to control everything myself. And I really did with the environment I grew up. It was out of control. It was chaos, with a lot of pain, a lot of things, abuse. So I tried to control everything I possibly can, because if it wasn't under control, usually it was going to be bad. So, final. If you struggle with people pleasing, the spider might be, I'm only valuable when people are happy with what I'm doing for them. So when you believe a lie, when I believe a lie, and that lie becomes a spider, what God intended to give you and I as a gift becomes a form of bondage. Work becomes something you need for validation rather than something you enjoy as a calling. Relationships become something you need for security rather than something you enjoy as a connection. Success becomes something you need to feel worthy rather than something you enjoy as stewardship. James 1:5, as we read earlier, describes God's generosity in granting us wisdom. And I pray that kind of wisdom to help you identify your potential spiders. And these are our 3 meditation points that we're going to have for this morning. Really good ones, again, posted on our Facebook and YouTube platforms. 1, what lie might be behind the struggle you can't seem to break free from? 2, when you're in pain or stress, what story do you automatically tell yourself about God and yourself? 3, what difficult experience in your past might have planted a lie that you're still believing today? And again, I would ask you to please break these down. Don't do them all. These are 3 very excellent questions. Maybe do one in the morning. Do the second one, again, maybe at noon. Take about 10-15 minutes and open your time to God and just open in prayer. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write these, take a picture of them, pull them out. I'm going to do these one in the morning, the second one around noon, and the third one later in the afternoon, and just get into these because these are really great questions. All right, so again, what lie might be behind the struggle you can't seem to break free from? We all got them. 2, when you're in pain or stress, what story do you automatically tell yourself about God or about yourself? In other words, what is your fallback position? And 3, what difficult experiences in your past might have planted a lie that you're still believing today? So, and we've all got those where Satan knows what buttons to push. And when we're going through things, he likes to push them buttons. All right. Tomorrow, we'll explore how to begin the process of confronting these lies and replacing them with truth. So God bless. Again, I hope you take the time to do this. These are some great questions. And these might be something that we put onto our calendar to do every 6 months or so on a recurring basis, just to make sure we're keeping our focus on things the way they should be. Be kind, be loving, be gentle. And I will see you tomorrow morning.